Julian just can't stop serenading the audience. Let them know that you sing and you sing.
What's
Let
up,
them
guys?
know what's up. Welcome back to the Disc Dungeon.
What's good, YouTube?
We are excited to bring you episode 7,
Not seven.
episode 8,
Yes.
episode 8. Apparently, I'm very bad with the maths, but we bring you episode 8,
Yes. Immortal voice.
Immortal Voice.
Amortal voice or immortal voice?
Immortal Voice.
Why
Mm.
is that?
That's because the singers that we put you on to last week have voices that I believe will last long after they have passed. And as a matter of fact, one of said voices sadly is already gone. Very, very sad. Jeff Buckley, rest in peace, sir. But we'll get into that later. We're going to start you off with.
Let me put you on. That definitely won't be the
No, that's not going to be the. I kind of like that.
effect. Let me put you on. Last week, Joe so kindly put me on to.
Phantogram.
Okay, bye. And what was the name of the album?
The name of the album was Eyelid Movies.
Eyelid Movies.
And that is one of my favorite albums by them, but that's their intro album. And they get just progressively better as time goes on.
Cool. I enjoyed half of the album.
Oh.
I just want to say that right off the top, just because that's there's some albums where you enjoy the whole thing. There's some albums that have key songs, and this one had key songs.
Yeah.
This one had some key songs.
So I'm assuming that my personal favorite song, When I'm Small, was one of your favorites.
Yeah, When I'm Small was the first one that stood out.
And was I right about the end of that song?
Yeah, the whole song is beautiful.
That's a beautiful
The,
song.
the melody is so simple too.
Mhm.
They're just chanting this little, and they're just hitting the right notes, and it goes a long way.
But how about that last lyric on the end of that song?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Pull that up. Pull that up for me right now.
All right. So, I mean, I could just tell you because I
Yeah.
know it by heart. It's I'd rather die. I'd rather die than be with you.
Damn.
That's if not the most gut punching end of a lyric I've ever heard.
Wow.
Yeah,
She really feels
she really doesn't like whomever that is. I'd
whoever,
rather die. I'd
whoever
rather
you
die
are,
than be with you.
what the fuck did you do?
Yo, if you don't bathe during a date, you're probably not gonna get 8. Just straight up.
Straight up.
Yeah. Sorry to be a little vulgar, kids, but it's the truth. You better bathe your ass.
I mean, this is a dungeon. I don't know what kids are doing in a dungeon.
The kid should be asleep, but
Yeah.
there's always one.
There's always one.
There's always one.
Well, so that was the song that stood out. I also loved the last song, 10,000 Claps.
10,000 claps for me.
I you know, the
That was a dope melody.
the song name itself already drew me into the song, and
Yeah.
then the melody itself was very nice. Yeah, I would say that those are my favorites of the album.
You didn't like Futuristic Casket?
Futuristic Casket. That I liked the energy of it.
Yeah.
I like the energy of it because that's like a driven song if I remember.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. The way
Yeah.
that started,
Yeah.
reminded me of old school hip hop. Right. So I like that a lot, but I mean, at least for my style, because again, this is just my preference. So please check out this music, guys, because my opinion might mean, it might
Jack Squad.
Jack.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then you guys, yeah. Mm, it's good. It's good. I would definitely say it's up there as well.
So the interesting part of Phantogram is they're a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
It's the gentleman. They both take turns singing, which is also a rarity in certain music scapes, especially when you're dealing with a young man and a young lady. Dynamic duos. Phantogram. They are an American
In America.
They're an American music duo
Uh-huh.
from Greenwich, New York, formed in 2007, consisting of multi instrumentals and vocalists Sarah Barthel and Josh Carter.
Mm.
So Sarah's the one on the little interesting keyboard. Yep, she's I'd rather die than be with you.
Mm.
So sucks for you, dude. Um,
Definitely, bro.
and they take turns on the songs. It's interesting. It reminds me a little bit of Tears for Fears, if you were to
Tears for
correlate.
Fears.
So Tears. Everybody wants to rule the world.
How does the song go?
Everybody wants to rule the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very famous song from the 80s. So I would say like their music sharing is, oh, hello, AJ Orsini. The boys are definitely back. Welcome.
Boys are back in town.
Uh Visited by Voices. What's up? Evening. How are you? And Amy Barbosa. Good evening to you.
Hey guys.
And we are excited that you've joined us in the dungeon. As you can see, it's dark here.
We got a 3-man squad.
We got a three
Three.
way. Oh,
A
wait.
three.
Well, that's five of us. So we got a gangbang
Whoa.
or an orgy, depending on your perspective.
Whoa.
Whoa. He took it there. Slow.
um. So all in all, if I had to, you know what I was thinking about the other
What?
week.
Oh, tell me,
I think
please.
that we should give ratings.
Oh, really?
I think we should be that opinionated
Wow.
because again, I want to hear you in the comments. I want to hear you go, no, fuck you, Julian. What do you mean? That shit was a 9 point out of 10, 9.99999.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, AJ, gangbang.
Exactly.
The squad of O has arrived.
The squad of O.
Yeah, that's AJ. His squad is the squad of O. That's a badass mofo right there. I'm serious. You gotta fucks with it. Oh, that's the dude that had the Christmas special here.
Oh, hey,
Yeah,
AJ.
yeah. And you actually sang for him.
Hi, AJ. What's
Yeah,
up, man?
yeah. He's excited for you.
I would give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Okay,
Yes.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
What would you give Faithless?
Oh,
Remember that?
yeah.
Remember
The
Roots?
one from last week.
No, like 2, 3 weeks ago.
Oh, the one
Yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah.
that.
I'm not. No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna.
We'll take it from here on out.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
a seven is like I liked it, but there was a bunch of songs that I didn't like, and so that took away from
Yeah, yeah.
from
So the next album, eventually you'll have to take a listen to is 3, and that has a multitude of tracks that are just
and that's
memorable.
Phantogram.
Phantogram again, yeah.
Okay.
Check them out. I mean, it's not for your
Yeah.
homework. That's just something to put in the old temple to think about. Just like I'm gonna.
All right, but I'm really excited about what
Yes.
I put
So
you on to.
yeah,
So
I
can we
all right. We're ending the Phantogram fan. So you know how I was with Sting in the first couple of episodes? That's how I am now with Phantogram.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so I'm really like deep in gangbang, fist deep.
Okay, so let's
So
start
I'm
with
just, I really, yeah. Let's start with those.
let's the dungeon is cool, but it can get really creepy really fast.
Yeah. Some of us like the old S and M's. Anyway, so I was put on, thankfully, to Jeff Scott Buckley, also known as and raised by the name Scott Moorhead. Do you know any correlation of his past to warrant that change? Maybe just a stage name.
I do know that his dad was also he was also a musician artist as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
But no, I mean I don't know what would warrant the name change.
yeah. It's very interesting to have a two named artists. Some artists, Prince Roger Nelson, Prince as we know him, and of course he went by the symbol. And if you're wondering why there was a pause, it's because I literally did the symbol for you. So make sure you come to our YouTube page, like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you give us 5 stars on the old iTunes, Google Play, and all that fun stuff, and to subscribe there too.
We got 4 people in here now.
Oh man, we're blowing up tonight.
AJ visited by vocals, Amy, and somebody else.
Yeah, the
Show yourself.
mystery person.
Reveal yourself.
Whip it out. Come on now. So I'm gonna get it.
Again, dungeon.
Yeah, man, put those kids to bed. Don't bring them out to the dungeon because I'm literally like.
All right, let's talk about Jeff
I'm
Buckley.
putting the leather suit on right now. Jeff Buckley was an American singer, songwriter, and guitarist. He spent 10 years as a session guitarist in Los Angeles. He garnered a cult following in the early 90s, playing the old New York City club scene in the East Village while focusing on his own material He would sign later with Columbia Records. Do you remember Columbia Records? Are they still around? I don't think so.
You mean, of course,
Yeah, I
of
thought
course.
Sony bought them or something like that. Anyway, um, so just as a side note, for those of you that don't go to your friends' gigs, you should definitely support your friends that are working that midnight scene, doing the clubs late at night, doing the elbow grease, because people get picked up that way, and that's a big help. I'm here because of Amy.
Demands it.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoy it.
I hope you enjoy what you're hearing. Don't worry, the vulgarity is probably at its end. So that probably displeases some folks. But anyway, Jeff Buckley. So what I wanted to say was, if those gigs are the gateway, and still is the gateway for people to rise above the standard fray of the inner circle and go from a cult following to mainstream. So don't knock your friends that are doing the old gigs. He got and recorded his only studio album with a band in 1994. So you're putting me on to the older music this week. We're doing a flip, folks.
Yeah. Well, tell them why. Tell them why.
So I'm the older gentleman of the group,
Oh, I
the
mean,
duo. Believe it or not, this baby face is actually twice his age. And this guy just stood out for you so much that um you know he correlated to something that happened in your life,
yeah,
correct? Yeah,
100%.
100%.
Well, that brings us to our next section.
Hmm.
Oh, actually, is
No,
there?
I had plenty more, but if you
I was
want to,
jumping the gun here.
yeah,
No,
it's all
that's
right.
okay.
It's all right. So and it's another thing that threw me off. So I'm reading notes, so you guys know I got a notebook. So the interesting thing about this is you're putting me onto somebody I definitely would have enjoyed at that time, and I was very cognizant of music at that time. So I don't know how I missed this guy because his vocal. Columbia is distributed by Sony Music. Yeah, they got bought out.
Exactly.
Yeah, I told you. I knew it. I knew it. I
Well, I
knew
heard
it.
there was
Anyway.
a secret chord.
so so I was just shocked that I didn't listen to this. He definitely reminds me of a blend between like that grunge scene that was happening in the 90s with Kurt Cobain and um and the crooner voice of like Harry Connick Jr., who was getting extreme popularity at that time in the 90s.
Mm.
So his range just really blew me away. His voice is dynamic. And I highly loved this entire album. But there, of course, were songs that stood out. Um, and unfortunately, he went on a world tour in 1997, and during the month of May, he and the band would begin to record a follow-up album, My Sweetheart the Drunk. But they recorded only 4 tracks, and tragically, he would pass away by drowning after swimming and being pulled down to the deep undertow of a wake from a passing boat. That is it's very sad. If you like Jeff Buckley, check out Brenda
Con.
Kahn. I
Hmm.
need glasses.
He was a close friend. Ah, funny
Um,
son. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
awesome. Oh, yeah. Thank you,
thank
man.
you very much. What's your name, by the way?
Visitor by Voices. Or Visited by Voices. Next time I'll wear my glasses. What does it say?
I'm gonna write that.
We're writing this down. We're going to actually listen to that. I really appreciate that, my friend. And we're going to get put on to somebody new, and especially this guy, because he put me on to Jeff Buckley. So we're definitely going to listen to that. And we'll have a third person to listen to this week for being put on, because we're going to be put on by one of our listeners. So
Oh,
this is
I see what
exciting.
you're saying now.
Woo!
You lost me a little bit.
You gave me that look like, oh my God, what just happened?
Oh, that's happening, Lauren. Oh,
Lauren. Hey, what's up, Lauren? Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you, Lauren.
It's a cool name.
Or I mean, maybe we're butchering it.
I hope I'm not butchering it.
I don't really care.
No, I do. It's very important that I don't butcher your name. Lauren, if I said your name right, give us a thumbs up. If I said your name right, I hope I did. And I really appreciate you coming down to the deep dark discs of your computer to listen to the Disc Dungeon. All right. Love this album. Like I said, that range was amazing. It's so phenomenal. Grace and of course, Lover, You Should Have Come Over were the big standouts for me in this amazing album. And now that we're doing a whole rating thing, which is different for me, I don't rate. I do 5 stars for a podcast,
Okay.
and I definitely think that those listening should 5 star this
I,
podcast.
and if you don't, just get out. Just
so,
get out.
so I would give this an 8 out of 10 if we're gonna go that high.
Cool.
Okay, very high,
Okay.
very high
It's
bar.
very high. It's very
It's
high.
a very, and I wish that I would have listened to him earlier because I think he would have meshed with certain emotions and things that
Mm.
have gone in my life.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
I think
So
right. This is the
this is the
time.
segue.
This is the
Yeah,
segue, guys.
this is
Ready?
your Iggy.
Music, 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 save my life.
Music makes you lose control.
Okay. So yeah, Jeff. I started listening to Jeff Buckley
Mhm.
when in my transition from high school
Oh,
to college.
wow. Okay, so that fun time of the end of pubescence into adulthood.
Yeah, I was pretty emo though. If you listen to
Oh,
his music, you know
yeah,
what I
yeah, yeah.
mean.
I get that. I get
He's
that.
got this
I
like
get that
emo
from you.
vibe, but
Yeah. And
I like the way that he does it though. You know, not the very straightforward. I'm gonna cut my wrists and bleed out
yeah.
to the song and your melody. You know, he's very tasteful with it.
Hmm.
He says it a lot in his music too. When you listen to his music, you feel the pain. You know, and that to me is so important in music. Uh, and honestly, I would say that he was part of me creating my sound
Oh.
because his chords are so unconventional too. He uses jazz chords a lot, but they're just but even then they're still unconventional in his voicings and the way that he decides to hold the guitar. Uh, he 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 obviously
What is he like? Flip like Hendrix or?
no. I'm just
Oh,
it's just you know just
just he has a different.
he plays standard, but he'll his finger placements are different. You know what I mean? Creating
Mm,
different
mm,
voicings
mm.
for chords that kind of I mean that are very creative. Um, and then on top of that, like you mentioned, his voice, his
Excellent.
range, the timbre of his voice. He sounds he's like sometimes crying and
Yeah,
then
I
and
feel there's a lot of emotion in it.
yeah, all around like he's a huge inspiration to my own music during that time. And that I say I went to that emo phase because I think a lot of us did. Uh, but
Yeah, when you're graduating from high school and you're
yeah,
moving on to that big moment in your life where okay, everything that happened before has led me to this point. Now I'm transitioning into a moment of clarity where
mhm.
I have to make my own decisions and no one can guide me. I'm on my own. This is it. Here we go.
That's yeah, you hit the nail on the head. For
Yeah.
me, it was a moment of clarity because I had you're coming from high school. You're kind of like in a bubble in a way,
Yeah.
right? And so you, at least for me, I started going to school in the city college in
Hmm.
up in Harlem, um, 134th and Convent. For those of you out there, I don't know. Um, and it was not culture shock for me, but it was just this freedom that I abused.
Uh,
You know what I mean, to the max because I didn't go to classes. I fell out of my.
oh, you were that kid.
I was that kid. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
I was definitely. So I I I went to 3 semesters, failed one class each semester,
Wow.
which wasn't bad because the other ones I did felt well. But then that last fourth semester, I failed every single class because
Jeez.
I just stopped going.
Wow.
I stopped going, and I wasn't interested in going to school. I was interested in kind of just doing a lot of things that I wasn't that I felt I didn't have the freedom for before.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, and Jeff Buckley was a part of that was a part of that discovery of who I was at that point in my life.
So like, Jeff Buckley was also part of your rebellion, so to speak.
That's a great word for his music. His music feels rebellious to me. It feels like at every turn you think when you think it's sweet, it's powerful and intense. When you think it's powerful and intense, it's actually sad and melancholy. So that juxtaposition and that contrast that he constantly has in his music
Hmm.
was not only inspiration, but it was just exactly what I was going through at that
Look
time.
at that. And Phantogram was sort of the same for me as their music kind of revved me up and made me feel rebellious because I ended up spending more time listening to them than actually working at a certain point at my previous job. Not my current job, so I know you guys listen. I work harder than a mofo for
Oh,
you. I need a raise. Raise with a capital R.
raised with a capital R.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very rebellious in different points of our life because when I was at my old job, it's when I assumed control over estates and managed to keep things afloat that were sinking quickly, worse and faster than the Titanic.
Um, yeah,
And
it's
I gotta say, his
yeah.
voice,
Uh huh.
like I was saying, had this dynamic range, and it reminded me of whom I'm going to put you on to now,
Okay.
Alt J.
Okay.
Alt J is a very interesting band. If you are familiar with the wondrous movie called Captain America Civil War, you'll may remember them from such tunes as Left Hand Free. That's the song I think that stands out on that album. The album is called it's been a minute.
This is the all J album.
Yeah.
This is all yours.
Yes, this is
This
all yours. Thank you. We have notes, folks.
we do a little bit of
We
homework
do
before,
homework and we
so that
prepare.
you're not just listening to
The album is good. I like it because music plays so well.
eat music when you lose control. But
But yeah, so that album is really good. There's a song, another song that I really like that reminds me of a certain young lady who's actually in this group, this chat, if you're live. So this is an advantage of listening to us live. You can also come back if you are, hopefully, raise your hands like a baby, and then you won't choke. But don't turn your, yeah, okay. See, your choking stopped just because your mind focuses on something else. You're welcome, America. So it's always a good idea to come back to the chat room because we not only interact with you, but we also, and it's not like a paid tier. We interact with everyone, so everyone is equally as special. Anyway, there's a certain young lady that's in the room listening to us tonight, and this actually reminds me of her. It's a song that I started listening to when we were dating years ago. Yeah, I know, right? Isn't that wild? I used to date women. Wait, that sounded right. Anyway, so I listened to that. It's called Every Other Freckle, and that's obviously a love song, and it's fantastic. So those are the two songs that I definitely think will stand out on that album for you. And the songs are very emotional. The singers are from England, so you get that special deep training in music lyrics. So I think you will highly enjoy All J. And I'm about to be put on to some music myself.
let me put you on.
Put me on.
Okay. Uh, this band is called RX
Hmm.
Bandits.
Okay.
They are a reggae, ska, punk rock,
Oh, Sky, I love the
melodic
Sky.
rock, alternative rock. They have a lot of feels to them, but they're driven and they have a lot of soul too,
Hmm.
which is nice.
I'm gonna like that.
You're gonna like it a lot. And the album that I want you to listen to
Hmm.
is this is hard. 2003 or 2006. You are pretty old, so
Thank you. I
you're
appreciate that.
so you'd probably relate more with 2003.
Uh huh.
So I'm gonna give you 2006.
Oh, okay. So you
So that's called "Only for the Night."
only for the night. That's
They
probably not how that song goes at all.
No, that's actually almost
I was pretty close.
like at the rhythm. The notes were off, but the rhythm was there.
Yeah.
You'll
Like I say, I'm the talker. You're the singer. I can't do that.
uh
Know your strengths.
definitely listen to them.
Yeah,
Highly recommend. Um, is there anything you want to say before we finish this section off?
I'm good.
Okay. And you know what's next?
Oh yeah.
Behind the beat.
Baby behind the beat.
All right, we're definitely gonna cut that out,
But that's
guys.
literally part of the segue,
It is. It is.
which is awesome. Thank you, Joel.
Yeah, but Joel, big shout out to our audio engineer, producer. He's helping us out. He's making sure that the quality of this podcast is top notch.
He has elevated us to a level that we had no idea we could achieve. So thank you, sir. As you are in England across the pond, more than likely sleeping at this
But guys, this week was a busy week. We definitely had a lot of sessions.
moment. That's great.
Um, and specifically, two songs come to mind. I'm very in tune with my uh, dance hall, reggae, um, just African vibes. I love it. I love all those rhythms.
Hmm.
Um, and so I made two beats this week.
Okay.
Aside from all the other ones that I made, because I've been making trap, I've been making tons of hip hop,
Okay.
and
Okay. So
use
you went out of your normal realm, is what you're saying.
well, not really. Well, out of my normal realm for this week, because if anything, the dancing vibes are more. That's more in my realm.
Gotcha.
The Latin, the
Hmm.
reggaeton,
Oh.
right?
Are you Spanish?
I
I'm
am.
kidding.
I Oh, well, actually, a lot of people. I get Filipino or
Oh,
Hawaiian before anything else.
I see it. When my hair's longer, I get Hawaiian
Oh,
because of my
uh,
size. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and age probably. Anyway, go ahead. Tell us about your beats.
About our beats. I mean, there's really nothing much to say about these beats specifically. It's just that they sound incredible.
Right.
And there's a song out there specifically. We'll link it below. It's called Soko by Starboy.
Mm.
So very danceable song. This is a song you'll hear in the club. This is a song that you can probably hear in the summer, even though it's already been out for a while. You can probably still hear it in the summer because it's a banger. And I was just really inspired by it. And I also wanted to give myself a little challenge on the guitar.
Oh.
So I made I used my guitar, a couple different licks, put them together, put some drums, some bass, and it sounds,
Oh, I love the bass.
yeah, it's an inspiration of that song Soko, but it definitely goes somewhere else because I'm me.
Yeah, I can't wait to listen to it.
Yeah, yeah. And then the other one is a straight up reggaeton song. It's more on the ballady side, and
Okay.
I already got this artist in mind. His name is Blin. I'll shout him out. We'll tag him over here. Blin is he's from Puerto Rico, man. Straight
Oh,
from
sweet.
straight from Puerto Rico, man. And this
Poor
dude,
Puerto Rico with all the
old,
earthquakes, though.
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy, man.
yeah. Maybe do a benefit concert.
We could do it. We can raise some money here.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, because
Tell us what you guys think about that.
yeah. Would you give us a couple of bucks for Puerto Rico?
Why not?
That'd be great.
I also there's a beautiful organization called Souls of Satos because dogs are they're very big in my life, and I foster dogs from time to time, from time to time,
One
uh,
time or another.
one time. And if you guys ever wanted to volunteer, they're always looking for people. Souls of Satos, Satos,
Gotcha.
and they're from Puerto Rico.
Awesome.
Yeah, guys. So behind the beat next week may have a special guest.
Ooh, exciting.
I'm just saying.
Throwing it out there.
Oh, and also just to kind of set expectations, I won't be here next episode.
No, we're gonna have a special guest next week. That's right. This is
One
exciting.
or two special guests.
Or two. Oh, oh,
See, because since I'm leaving, we gotta make sure we give you some sugar.
yeah.
Give you some sugar. We,
Sweet, sweet sugar.
we care about you.
We do.
So this brings us to our last section, and
Tricks, tricks, tricks of the key.
tricks of the keys. Tatik.
Tatik. You really like this? Is this a generational thing? This abbreviation? Like,
I don't know, man.
I don't abbreviate. Like,
I just like how it sounds.
uh,
Tatik
oh, okay.
and limpollo.
Limpollos instead of sweaty chicken with limp chicken.
Sweaty chicken. Limp chicken. All right, guys. So we are we have a song that most of you probably have heard or rocked out to, by the Goo Goo Dolls called "Slide."
Now, it's interesting when you put the song on earlier just to talk about tricks of the keys, and I was thinking, oh, I don't know what you're talking. I only know, and I don't want the world to leave me. That's the only song I remember from. But they have actually an amazing, they have an amazing discography of melodies and wondrous musics. And I had forgotten about that song because I always thought the name of the song was "I Want to Wake Up Where You Are."
I wanna wake up where you are. I can't see anything at all.
So I always thought that was a simplistic love song. And let me tell you, that tricked me.
Tricks of the keys. Tricks. So the actual meaning is
It is not at all what you think. It's more of a song that is
the song narrator finds himself at a crossroads. He is in his late teens, and while it's unclear whether he is still in high school or not, his girlfriend May goes to Catholic school and is an upperclassman. Unfortunately, the narrator recently got May pregnant, and she chose to get an abortion. This decision has affected May deeply. She's become withdrawn and depressed. So the lyrics of the song say, "Do you wake up on your own and wonder where you are? You live with all your faults." Is struggling with her faith. The priest is on the phone and has become estranged from her parents. Your father hit the wall. Your mom disowned you. May question if she made the right decision. Do you love the life you killed? And the narrator is unsure how he should reassure her. He's impacted by the decision as well. since he was denied the chance to be a father. Don't suppose I'll ever know what it means to be a man. It's something I can't change. But decides to live around his loss and just let it slide. More than anything else, he wants to help May by doing anything she ever dreamed to be complete and whole again. He even promised to not say anything at all about the abortion and even asks if May wants to get married or run away. Example given: start another family with the blessing of her parents and church after she graduates or drops out of school and abandons their old lives and worries. So,
Deep.
so in the end, it is a love song.
And yeah, ultimately, it
Ultimately,
ends as a love song, but it's really like
yeah,
about
it's
abortion. Ultimately, I mean, the abortion affects her so heavy that she's
yeah,
become a depressed person, and of course, it affects her relationship with her parents, and it affects
yeah.
you know
It's having an abortion living with a religious Catholic
family.
family.
Yeah,
Because having an abortion, to some it's a
it's a
serious deal,
sin. Yeah,
no matter where. But this is looked at as something bad when
right.
it comes to when it comes to the Catholic religion or the Christian or Christianity.
So I wonder how many kids are going, yeah, want to get married and like banging out, and then all of a sudden, psych. This is not at all about just happy
Yeah,
coupling.
it's not.
So, ouch. That is a really good one. And I had forgotten about the Google Dolls because in my current music worlds, alt J's and um, I am, who am I's and Phantograms, I kind of get lofty in the wondrous world going down the rabbit hole because I like the story of Alice in Wonderland. Sometimes music just takes you away from the moment you're in, and it arrives you into a space in a world that's far beyond that which you are living in to help you get out of some of the stresses that are bogging you down, whether it be abortion, not in my particular instance, but for others, that's what you face.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is probably why we started this dungeon,
Yeah.
because the power of music is
Is deep, dark, and wide, just like the dungeons on your discs of your computers.
why do you start talking like a robot when the
I
song comes on?
have no idea.
Deep dark disc dungeons of the. But anyway, guys, we had a lot of fun. I'm Julian Valencia,
And I'm Joe Dove telling you to always keep a lookout and listen to music.
and always saying too much.
I'm gifting up. Thanks for listening, everybody.